So, Senator Sanders, you're going to run for president.
I am going to run for president. That's correct.
What's going to be different this time?
We're going to win. We are going to also launch what I think is unprecedented in modern American history, and that is a grassroots movement, John, to lay the groundwork for transforming the economic and political life of this country. That's what's different.
And that's your theory, which is that without the groundswell, without the grassroots, you can't change the politics
That's
of
exactly right. Look, John, somebody can come before you and say, look, I want to do A and I want to do B, and that's fine. But at the end of the day, the only way that real change takes place is when millions of people stand up, fight back, and say, enough is enough. We're going to have a government that works for all of us, not just a few. But bottom line for me is I think it is absolutely imperative that Donald Trump be defeated, because I think it is unacceptable and un-American, to be frank with you, that we have a president who is a pathological liar, and it gives me no pleasure to say that, but it's true. We have a president who is a racist, who is a sexist, who is a xenophobe, who is doing what no president in our lifetimes has come close to doing, and that is trying to divide us up.
But all of your opponents will say, we've got to get Donald Trump out of the White House. That's not your distinguishing characteristic, so.
That is not my distinguishing characteristic. I think what I am very proud of, and in a sense, this campaign, John, is a continuation of what we did in 2016. You will recall, you may recall, that in 2016, many of the ideas that I talked about, Medicare for all, raising the minimum wage to $15 an hour, making public colleges and universities tuition free. All of those ideas, people will say, oh, Bernie, they're so radical. They are extreme. The American people just won't accept those ideas. Well, you know what's happened in over 3 years? All of those ideas and many more are now part of the political mainstream.
So you're saying the party came your way?
Well, I don't want to say that. I think most people would say that.
Is that your argument then against your competitors, which is, I was Medicare for all before Medicare for all was cool?
I guess that's one way of looking at it, but it's no. I know many of the people, certainly the senators who are running, and without exception, I am fond of them. They are, in some cases, my friends.
Let me ask you on your Medicare for all. You have talked about the fact that polls show 70% are in favor of Medicare for all, but that number drops to 37 if somebody hears private insurance is going to go away, which is what your plan offers. So I guess my question is, you're offering something that the polling shows people can get very spooked very quickly about.
No, well, but that's because we're going to be taking on the insurance companies and the drug companies who are going to spend a whole lot of money distorting what we believe in. The bottom line is the average middle-class family will save money, will spend less money on health care, will have more choice, and have broader coverage than is currently the case.
The other challenge to your health care plan will be cost. People will say, my goodness, there's no way everybody's going to get covered, and some of the estimates that come out.
No, I need you in the media to help us explain the truth.
Yeah.
No more out-of-pocket expenses, no more deductibles. The cost of prescription drugs is going to go down. We expand the kinds of coverage available for senior citizens. It's a good deal.
Howard Schultz has now said he would not run as an independent if the Democrats nominate a moderate.
Oh, isn't that nice? Why is Howard Schultz on every television station in this country? Why are you quoting Howard Schultz? Because he's a billionaire, all right? There are a lot of people I know personally who work hard for a living, who make $40,000, $50,000 a year, who know a lot more about politics than, in all due respect, does Mr. Schultz. But because we have a corrupt political system, anybody who is a billionaire who can throw a lot of TV ads on television suddenly becomes very, very credible. So what Mr. Schultz, what is he, blackmailing the Democratic Party? If you don't nominate Bernie Sanders, he's not going to run? Well, I don't think we should succumb to that kind of blackmail.
The other reason is that he represents an argument that some people make, which is if you're worried about Donald Trump, the Democratic Party, to win voters in various parts of the country, needs to pick somebody who is not so radical. That's also what his theory represents.
Well, I think his deeper theory is, hey, I'm a billionaire, leave me alone. And let me make as much money as I can without paying my fair share of taxes. He's a billionaire, he's thinking of running for president, suddenly he's a very famous guy. That is a problem with our political system.
You have to appreciate the fact that Bernie brings up the point there's other individuals who make far less money than Howard Schultz who understand the political system a lot better. the point that we shouldn't view someone as credible just because they make a lot of money. Yeah, he may understand a fair amount about investing, might understand a lot about running a business, but that doesn't necessarily mean he understands the political system. There can be public school teachers and professors that know far more about politics than a lot of businessmen. Some of the businessmen may know, again, how to run a business. They might understand some ideals with finance and accounting and a little bit with economics. But the idea that successful businessmen make great politicians is problematic. A lot of these individuals may lack an understanding of basic history, which is essential for developing a correct opinion of politics today. If you don't have an understanding of the past, then you're going to have a faulty understanding of the present. And so political opinions that aren't formed in history are going to definitely be less accurate, less grounded on reality. A lot of academics aren't rich, but they understand reality and they understand the political system. And so I'm glad that Bernie brings up those points, that Howard Schultz knows far less about politics than some individuals he knows who make $40,000 a year. And the idea that Howard Schultz received a lot of hype just because he's a Starbucks CEO and just because he's extremely wealthy, that's problematic for so many reasons. And it's good that Bernie brings those ideas up.